What up, world? Back for another episode of In Granny's Garage. I go by the name DJ Kool-Aid. I'm your host, and man, I have the pleasure today of introducing somebody straight from Jackson, Mississippi. Great influencer here in the capital city, Coach O from the JSU Tigers. Coach O, how you doing, man?
Great, I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm absolutely great, man. Thanks for coming on.
Man, thank you for having me, man.
Man, it has been a pleasure. You've been on a ride here lately, man. First, I want you to just introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, what you represent in the capital city, and things you have planned for the future here.
No doubt, man. My name is Otis Ridley. Everybody calls me Coach O around here. Originally from Jackson. I'm the associate head coach, general manager, and tight ends coach for your beloved Jackson State Tigers.
Oh wow, man. So let's dive right into it. Here recently, you guys won the national championship, the Celebration Bowl. How did that feel?
It's hard to put into words, man. It's a surreal moment. A lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of heartbreaks went into that moment. So, but it felt great, man. It felt like the weight of the world had came off our backs.
Man, can you share a personal experience that significantly impacted, this? You being at Jackson State and just the things that's been going on lately.
Yeah, man. I mean, just even going back to me and Coach Taylor, Coach TC coming in 2019, with the previous staff prior to Coach Prime coming, and kind of seeing what
that other guy.
yeah, kind of seeing what Jackson State was in that state. You know what I mean? And kind of being a part of what we are now, kind of seeing how that transition from struggling to triumphant. And so that's been a really, really cool experience for me.
Any challenges that you faced during the journey, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, man. Well, I came to Jackson State as an O-line coach, and so when Coach Prime came, I ended up moving to director of player personnel. So, in my viewpoint, it kind of stunted my growth as a coach. But long term, it actually made me a better coach, made me a better administrator. I run the organization better because of my experience during that time. So, taking a step back in the short term is not always a bad thing, even though it may look like a bad thing. He got some other blessings in store for you.
Exactly, man. Any fun facts that people may not know that you guys that you've had at JSU in your time there?
Probably none. I probably need to put on this podcast, but we had a few, man. We had a few. Our thing is, me and TC especially, we not really. We don't consider ourselves celebrities or nothing like that. We just normal, everyday people. So just being out and about in the community and getting stopped by people to take pictures and whatnot, it's still new to us.
Oh, wow.
It's still new to us. So it kind of takes us aback. But no, we just normal, everyday people, man.
So being that, what advice would you give someone to starting in the coaching business, on this level or even at Pee Wee level?
Yeah, no doubt, man. The first thing I would tell anybody, if you're getting into it for money, you need to stop. Yeah, that's the last thing that needs to be on your mind. But the biggest thing, if you're looking for fulfillment, you're looking for something that actually shows you the marked improvement on a daily basis, man, work with young people. That ain't just football. That's just in general. Being able to pour into young people and see them grow, you actually see your investment blossom. And it does wonders for you as a person. It does wonders for my psyche, for my confidence, seeing my students and my players and my mentees grow and become better people.
Man, that is absolutely great. You had some kids over there, man, that I saw doing that after the Celebration Bowl. They made the statement that this team was built during the summer. Explain that process to me.
Yeah, man. Our summers at Jackson State are very grueling. We are a morning football program, so in the summer our guys are up, breakfast 6 o'clock. Our first workout session is at 7 o'clock. You got football school, you got walkthroughs. It's a full regimen that they have to go through 4 days a week in the summer. And even on those off days, we have some voluntary things that they do that, they're voluntary, but the pressure is on to be there. You know what I mean? So they, they put a lot of work in. And and it's just them. So they get to know each other on a very intimate basis. You know, just knowing it goes from friend to brother pretty fast.
Man, a football school. Explain that.
Yeah, man, you don't take anything for granted when it comes to what a player knows, right?
Correct.
So what we try to do every summer, we do it a couple of times a year. We try to go all the way back to the basics. So make sure our players are speaking the same language in the building. Making sure that we know if it's a 4-3 defense, a 4-2 defense, a nickel defense, however you call it. Making sure we are communicating the same stuff, and so that goes a long way when you talk about going to a season where offense and defense look different every week. Well, if we're speaking the same language, we can kind of talk to each other. Well, we were preparing for Alcorn's defense this week. Well, our defense saw Alcorn's defense weeks back when they were preparing for another offense.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So if we're able to have some of those cross aisle conversations in the building, it makes it go that much smoother when we talk in the same language.
Man, speaking of staying on the topic of football, how do you repeat?
You put your head down, you go back to work. This never happened in the building. We got to remove complacency as soon as we get back in January.
Come on now, you preaching, you preaching.
So yeah, we when the guys come back in January, this is a new team. Some guys on that team experienced it, and that's good for us moving forward because they know what it took to get to this point. But removing complacency and making sure the new guys we bring in the building understand that they got a standard that they got to uphold, and we're not going to let them bring us down to their level. They're going to rise up and play to ours.
Big fact. I like that. Speaking of talent, man, how do you replace some of the talent that you're losing on the offensive side and the defensive side?
Yeah, man. So, first of all, man, we appreciate those guys who invested in Jackson State.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we appreciate
1,400 club.
Man, all of them. You know what I mean? And you speaking about a different investment. Those guys are major in what we do, but I'm talking about the players.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about But the players that invested, man, they believed in me and Coach TC. And I say believe in me and believed in Coach TC first. Okay. They believed in him. They allowed me to sell them Jackson, Mississippi. And they believed in what we were trying to do here. And so, I mean, I appreciate them dudes, but how you replace them, we try to replace above. We don't try to replace and stay the same. And so, when we see you see some of these dudes walking out the door, we looking at those body types and we looked at what they did for the program. How can we go get a better version of that player? And that's kind of how we start from a replacement standpoint. But man, recruiting has been going well. The city is blossoming. The city believes in Jackson State football. And so when we move around and these players that we bring in, they see how the city embraces Jackson State football, it's a different vibe than they get anywhere else. So it's easy to recruit to Jackson State.
Man, and speaking of the city, man, I noticed that you guys recruit locally a lot. Like a lot of kids from right here in the capital city, man, you guys reach out to them, and a lot of them they stay at home and stay with you guys.
No doubt, man. Our biggest thing is, we uncles and, we cousins to a lot of these people in Jackson and the surrounding areas, right? So, I pitched to a lot of these Mississippi boys. Coach TC is from Macomb, South Pike. Yep. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
What neighborhood?
Presidential Hills.
Okay.
The quintessential neighborhood of Jackson, Mississippi. But no, man, so we preach to these guys, come play for Mississippi boys. You a Mississippi boy, come play for some Mississippi boys. You know what I mean? Lane Kiffin ain't from Mississippi. No. Charles Huff at Southern Miss ain't from Mississippi. Even Jeff Levy at Mississippi State, they're not Mississippi boys. Come play for some Mississippi boys who know how to get it done, who know how to win. And it's resonating with a lot of these dudes, man. Good country boys, man. Resonating with them.
Man, the branding of Jackson State and the athletic department and the football team, man, explain that to me. How did you guys do that, man? I'm like, you guys have taken over this thing.
Yeah, so, I do give Prime a lot of credit for giving us a bigger footprint. You know what I mean? So, man, kudos to him for kind of shedding the light on the digital age and how social media marketing can impact college athletics, right? And so, man, when it turned over to us and it became our program, one of the first hires we made, we went and got us a digital content creator, a multimedia guy, Austin Robinson.
Okay.
And he's really good at his job. But even from the totality of the entire athletic department, Coach, Vice President AD Ashley Robinson, man.
Man, big kudos to that guy, man.
He's got a vision, man. He's got a
does.
vision, and he knows how to put people in place to kind of expedite that vision for him. So that's what we did, man. Everything we've done, building on traditions, blazing new trails. Everything we do is based off that vision.
Man, that is absolutely great. Man, I recently read. Well, I saw it on the news, and I read it as well. This JUCO rule. Explain it to me.
Yeah, so it's still a lot of legislation that's got to go into that rule. But basically, some JUCO players took the NCAA to court, and they just basically said, hey, our rule, currently our eligibility, we lose 2 years, and we have never played in the NCAA. If this is a separate entity from the NCAA, why are our years counting, and we can't use all 4 of our years once we actually get to the NCAA to a 4-year institution? And so the courts end up siding with those players. And so what we have right now, starting this year, players who entered JUCO in the 2020 season, if their eligibility ended this past season, the NCAA granted them an extra year eligibility. So we got about 4 or 5 players on our roster who will be getting an extra year eligibility that'll be able to come back.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a headache at the same time. You know what I mean? Because
the new talent, okay. I
understand.
Yeah.
A lot of this rule came down in December, and we had signed a class, and so the numbers, now you got to make these numbers work. Where do we take this guy back, or we move over with the young guy? So it's some tough decisions that have to be made.
Very tough decisions.
Yeah. So, but that's the essence of the rule, and no different than anything else with college football these days and college athletics. Man, you just take the punches and keep rolling.
Man, so that leads to my next question: the NIL and the collective. What is the collective? Explain. Help me out.
Yeah, no, you're right. The NIL and the collective. The NIL is it's business based, third party based, right? The collective is a bunch of businesses getting together with maybe with a booster or a prominent alumni, and they come together and they pool their money together in a collective to help support the athletes individually. So the NIL piece, that's for a business, Sony, 97.7.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Us.
If they want to, jump in, and actually support a player individually, they can do that through an NIL deal. And that player will be obligated to fulfill some contractual duties with that station or whoever signed into that deal, right?
Okay.
Well, on the collective side, it's not you don't necessarily have to fulfill as many contractual obligations outside of some autograph signings, some public appearances, right?
Okay.
But those businesses come together and they say, we just want to support Jackson State athletics, but we want to support the players individually, and the coaches can kind of help work with that collective to make sure the right players are getting funded.
Well, how can I support?
Man, that's a great question, man. With Jackson State right now, the collective we're working closely with is the 1400 Club Collective through Ken Clark and friends.
Okay.
And so Ken Clark, he has a lot of literature out there that you can click on his links and kind of go and donate. I don't care if it's $20 a month or it's $2,000 a month. It's really a grassroots effort to make sure Jackson State football stays at the top of this thing, right? And then the other way we do, you can help support Jackson State athletics in a grassroots effort is JSU by 40. And that's
JSU by 40.
Yeah, and that's what we trying to do. We trying to dominate, man. And so, being able to take care of our athletes, right?
Correct.
And making sure we got top-notch facilities. Those are the two things that keep us separate from every other HBCU in the game. It really keeps us separate from every other FCS school in the game. So, and let me just throw this out there, man, Kool-Aid. When it comes to, economic development, when it comes to building, people don't realize how important Jackson State football is to the economic structure of Jackson, Mississippi, brother.
Very.
You know what I mean? If we win, when we're winning, the city is going to boom. Everybody is going to make money.
Everybody's making money.
Yes. So I need people who are listening to this podcast to don't look at it like you're paying a player. Don't look at it like you funding his lifestyle. Look at it as an investment for Jackson.
to your city, your
to your
community.
city. Yes, I'm not going to allow us. I say me, but TC as well. We're not going to allow this program to go out and invest in players who can't help us win, right? So your investment is going to go to a player that can help us win. Where those players that will help us win, guess what? Your businesses are going to grow. You're going to see the streets get paid because guess what? It's
Definitely
more,
need that.
no doubt. It's more economic impact happening in the city because this football program is so good.
You know, it helps me as well because it keeps the clubs packed because I'm still active DJing.
No doubt.
So I definitely understand your point, and you have me. Right, I'm telling you on the podcast, I'm going to support those 40
JSU by 40.
JSU by 40
and the KC and Friends 1400 Club.
1400 Club. So you got my support right here, and anybody else that's hearing this, you guys need to do the same.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. We appreciate that, Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, you know that. So how do you keep the SEC and these other conferences from coming at our guys, man? I'm gonna say a few names. Definitely want to see him remain a Tiger. Jeremiah Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to see him remain with the Tigers. And we got to keep him. Jackson, we have to keep him. The world, supporters, JSU fans all over the world, we got to keep Jeremiah Williams. What's the quarterback? Zay
McDonald?
Yep, McDonald. Yeah. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
he's in the portal now.
No.
Yeah, he's in the portal.
Well, that guy, he can go on over there with the mother folks. He can stay over there. Yeah. Man, I'm absolutely just at awe with what you guys are doing for the city. You have been a staple in this community. We talked off camera, and you told me how you rose the ranks in football, how you started with the Pee Wee kids, and you say you just a little bit too advanced. I know them kids and the parents was out there.
They were looking at me crazy. I was talking about 6 years still. They what?
Man, it's just a blessing to have people like you in the community, man. We as people, we need more people like you. We need more people like TC that's in our community, trying to advance our community, advance our city, and also, be uncles and be father figures to some of these kids. I have a 16-year-old son that he admires the program. He wants to come out and see the everyday structure of college football, and to these kids that's watching this, what do you encourage them to do to get on your radar?
But the first thing is put the work in, and that's cliches, right? But it's so true.
Yeah.
It's 10,000, 20,000 kids vying for your spot. You know what I mean? You want to be a Division I football player, and we only assign about 20, 25 guys a year. And so what are you going to do to separate yourself? The work has got to speak for itself. The work in the off season, developing your body, your nutrition.
That's very important.
Very important. Those things are very important because the first thing I'm going to look at when I see you as a player, I'm going to look at your body makeup. I'm going to look at your aesthetic. Can I see that guy in 2 to 3 years being a Jackson State football player? Would he develop the right way? Would he look good in a Jackson State uniform? How does that block going to look on his helmet? That's the first thing we're going to look at before we even get to the film. Because the film can look good, but if the body type is not right, we're trying to run a championship program. So everything has to be right. It can't just be one thing right. You know what I mean? So we're looking at, you hate to say it, but that 6'4" receiver may get looked at quicker than the 5'10" receiver, right? But I'm not going to not look at the 5'10" guy. You know why? Because his effort, his tenacity, his grit, those things tell me if he can play for us as well. So everybody's going to get a fair shot, but make sure you put the work in. The second thing, put yourself out there. Go to the camps, go to the combines.
Definitely.
You got several third-party companies that I definitely work with that show us good players. Catapult underclassmen, rivals. Those camps are the ones that you need to get in. Nike, those are the camps that they're going to send us the biographical information or the diagnostic information on the kids that normal schools or normal programs won't get. So we'll get all that information. So make sure you're putting yourself out there.
Man, I actually like that because it was a kid that, what's the kid name? Travis Terrell.
Yeah.
All American.
Oh, no doubt. No
Man,
doubt.
tell me about this kid, man. Give me some insight on this kid.
Oh man, special. From Atlanta, Georgia. Man, when it saw Travis, Travis had several G5 offers where he could have went to other schools, PWIs around the country. Man, we ended up bringing Travis to the Alcorn game last year in Jackson, and we lost the game. And so we were nervous, like, oh man, we lost the game. We got this kid here, he might not come. But he fell in love with Jackson State. He fell in love with the culture at that game. And he told us shortly after the game, Coach, I'm coming. And so, man, the biggest thing with Travis, man, he's a humble kid, man, but he's got that Atlanta swag. Yeah, and I know, all my ATLians, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Because not all of them are humble. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They different out there.
They different.
Definitely different than
but
they.
This kid, he's humble, but he still got that Atlanta character and that swag about him and that energy. It permeates through the team. But man, when he touches that football field, man, he's electric. He's electric, and it's one of those deals you can't coach it. You know what I'm saying? You either got it or you don't. And
right,
this dude got it, man. And so he one of them ones every year we're gonna be fighting to keep him in Jackson, but we're gonna do our part to keep him here.
Man, I saw him catch a punt, and I was like, what? Look at God.
Man, come on now.
That boy, I'm gone.
Gone.
Yeah. Man, so you know, definitely keeping talent like that around, man. I noticed that you had one guy, I think his name was Robert McDaniel.
Yeah, no doubt.
He declared for the draft, didn't
he? Yeah, he's going to the draft. Rob is a special football player, and Rob's story is a little unique. Rob was at Jackson State. He signed with Jackson State out of high school.
Uh-huh.
His red shirt year was at Jackson State.
Okay.
All right, and ended up had an injury and ended up transferring right before Coach Prime came. He transferred out, went to Gulf Coast, ended up leaving Gulf Coast going to Alcorn. But when he but when he got the opportunity when he got in the portal, and we had the opportunity to get him back, man, it was a no-brainer for us, man. Rob is a special player, big physical kid, but he's a game changer. Just his physical presence on the field, it makes quarterbacks think twice about going to that side of the field where he's on. So
definitely,
yeah, man, but another Mississippi boy, man, you just can't beat it, man.
I saw him size up against the guy over from UAPB, and that was a big guy.
It was.
Man, he sized up with him and gave that boy pure hell the whole game.
And to put that in perspective, that kid ended up signing. He went in the portal, ended up signing with the University of Oklahoma. And so
the big kid?
Yeah. So he's going to the SEC now. And
wow.
And Rob McDaniel had him locked down. Like he was doing 25 to life.
Man, right. Right. Man, that is absolutely great for JSU, man. I want to go back to speaking about the kid Zay
McDonald.
Yeah. You know, he was a hometown. He's from Ridgeland, I think, was you know, and that just keeping that home talent here. So, you know, again, I want you to stress and I want you to really let these kids know the home, you know, you are looking at home.
Right.
And, you know, just express to them again how important it is to be good in school, you know, have that physique that,
right.
you know, you're academically, you're ready, you're eligible to play for us and stuff like that. Express academically.
Yeah, it's so cool. I appreciate you bringing up the academic side of it because it get lost in this world, you know, football and college athletics now.
Uh-huh.
You know, everybody want to jump straight to NIL, but you still got to have grades. You still got to have academics. And my biggest thing, I'm at the point now where I don't even bring it up because it should be a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
You know what I mean? Like, go to school, do what you're supposed to do, but enjoy learning. Man, it's a pleasure to know things.
Yeah.
Like
life after football.
Yeah, man, and that's my biggest thing. You know, whether you want to be a DJ or football coach, right? It's an expertise that goes into that, and so
a learning curve that you got to be.
Come on, man. So That's my biggest thing. We don't want dumb football players. And our current players would tell you that we actively talk about being a dumb football player. And what that means is making bad decisions, not thoroughly investigating information that you need to know, and not being a student of the game and of life. So much goes into being a good football program, but when you get to the nitty gritty of it, it's on the individual basis. Do I, as an individual, want more out of my life than just to be here in this moment? Where am I going? So it starts with the academic piece, being a well-rounded gentleman. That's what we want.
Man, Jacob Morgan.
Jacobian, yeah,
Jacoby Morgan.
yeah.
He's coming back.
He's coming back. Yeah.
Man, I love it, man. What do you expect from this guy? I saw a kid that was kind of special.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Well, I know the expectations, but as a coach, what do you expect from this kid?
Man, so another Mississippi boy.
Nope.
Exit 119, Canton, Mississippi.
Oh, exit 119.
Exit 119.
Ken, what up though, Ken?
So yeah, man. So man, extremely proud of him. We recruited Jacoby to come out of high school back in 2019, and he ultimately chose to go to Syracuse. Can't knock that. It was a great experience for him. And Syracuse, they coached him up, polished him up, before he came back to Jackson. And man, came back. He's been a model football player for us. He's the face of the program. He calls himself QB1. You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's what
QB1.
that's what he calls himself.
Okay.
He calls himself the General. He got a couple of nicknames. I don't want to leave one out. He get mad at me, but man, but when I say just a kid that he understands his lane, and he don't get out of his lane too quick. You know what I mean? He's learning the game still. Now it's the time to polish up the fundamentals, take that next step as a QB, make the throws, the anticipatory throws that he's got to make, take this offense to another level. So he knows what he's got to do this offseason, work on. And one thing about TC and Coach Kurt, his QB coach, they're going to be tough on him. They're going to make him grow, even if he don't want to grow. They're going to get him out of his comfort zone.
I love it.
And that's how we're going to get back to Atlanta, though. But he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Explain to kids that may want to come to Jackson State, your expectations and things that they need to do outside of, just being, again, model student and having things, your expectations, JSU expectations, and being a Tiger.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So we got a standard that that our players learn and recite, but the last line of their standard, the goal is to, semicolon, in all things, comma, dominate. All right. So our overwhelming mission at Jackson State, I don't care who we playing. I don't care if it's the Boom and we at the Rose Bowl. I don't care if it's Jackson State football and we at the Celebration Bowl. I don't care where we are. Our goal is to dominate. All right. So even you as a high schooler or as a junior college prospect, when you wake up on a daily basis, your mindset needs to be domination, right? And I ain't talking about athletics. I'm talking about just how you approach life. I want to be the greatest at whatever I do in life. We're looking for those type of athletes. We're looking for those type of students at Jackson State. If you approach life in a manner to dominate life, then Jackson State is the right school for you.
Man, and it's been a pleasure having you here. We're gonna close here shortly. We were talking off camera about. I was telling you about number 19.
Yeah.
My son won number 19 at Northwest Rankin this year, and you said it almost brought you, it brought you so much joy to hear number 19. Explain the number 19 and what it meant to you.
Yeah, so we've been dealing with the number 19 with Jackson State football for the past month or two, and just the significance of the number for us as a program. The SWAC championship this year was the 19th SWAC championship in Jackson State football history. When we won the Celebration Bowl, that was TC's 19th victory as a head coach at Jackson State. And so I got to looking at it, man, and man, what's so significant about the number 19? I love my Bible. I'm a Bible reader. I love the church, and I'm not holier than thou or nothing like that, but I just know, God deal with numbers a lot. You know what I mean? And so I went and just started doing some research on the number 19, and man, found out that the number 19, number of completion, number of wholeness, a number of extreme faith, And man, I look back over this year. I look back over the last couple of years leading up to this number, and then you shared some stuff with me about the number 19 as well.
Yeah.
And it just it really humbled me and grounded me, and knowing that we got these signs that we can look to, that just it keeps us on the right path and let us know that our pathway is already lit up and we on the right way. So that was 19, man.
Man.
And I got to Jackson State. Me and TC got to Jackson State in 2019.
Man. 2019,
Yeah.
the 19th victory, the 19th Celebration Bowl. Man, that is absolutely, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Man, in closing, how do people follow you on social media? Are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on X or Instagram.com. You can Instagram.com. Show my age, don't it? Yeah, I show my age, man. But yeah, Coach _O. Coach
_O.
Yep. And Otis really on Facebook, but I mean, reach out to me on any of the platforms, man. I do my best to try to reach back out.
Man, it has been an absolute pleasure, man. I look forward to a great JSU season, man. I look forward to seeing you out there doing what you love, man. And this is amazing, man. This is absolutely amazing, man. Make sure you guys follow me on social media as well at I am DJ Kool-Aid in Granny's Garage. You know, it's all about Granny's Garage because this was my safe haven. And big shouts to my grandmother, my mother, man, all my friends and stuff like that. I love you guys. Coach O, in closing, you have anything else you want to leave us with?
Man, I appreciate the opportunity, Kool-Aid. Man, listen, Jackson, Mississippi, the surrounding areas, this is a great platform, great brother, great information. But I also want you guys to know the vision that we have and the love we have for this city, we can't put into words. We look forward to blessing you guys in our own rights from behind the DJ booth and me from the sideline. We look forward to continuing to put smiles on your faces, and we hope that you will continue to support us. Love you.
Jackson, the world, until next time, I go by the name DJ Kool-Aid. Closing out in the garage. Coach O, thank you again, man.